Hey everyone, Joe here from ActionX. Welcome to What's in the Tuber. Welcome back. If this is your third The Rookie Fez episode review, hope you're doing well today, everyone. It's been I'm still feeling a little tired. It's been a very hectic work week for me so far, coming off of New York Comic Con as well. But I mentioned it before in the rookie review. This week on the Rookie Fez, just to jump into it, I know you don't care much about my personal life sometimes. This episode really was. It felt like this is a true, not classic, it's still too new to say that. This felt like this is what the Rookie Fez is going to be as just a general show, where the last 2 weeks for me, like, you still had the sprinklings of the larger rookie verse, where, in the first episode you had John Nolan and then also Lopez, and then episode 2 you had Chen and Bradford, and I felt like in my head, are we gonna somehow squeeze in Aaron and Gray in here? Are we? But they didn't. No, this episode fully operated as like, we don't need them every week. Like, again, it would be appreciated, but at the reality of it, no, we don't need them every week. We just need to do our own thing. We can tell our own story without having to bring in a rookie character just for the sake of like, oh my god, a rookie, this and this character is here this week. It doesn't have to be like that. Also, again, just mild spoilers for the last regular episode of The Rookie. Fun fact, that was finally for the first time the Feds characters went over to the mainline show, which was pretty cool. So, at some point again, yeah, this is like, okay, you give and you get. So like this week was like, okay, this is purely just standalone-ish for the Rookie Feds. So no confusions of the timeline. I will be remiss to say, I'm sad to say that our 6 for 6 Smithy did not occur this week, sad to say. If you were unaware, in the last 5 episodes of Rookie/Rookie Feds, we've had Smithy make a cameo in every single episode, which I was like, oh, it would be a very cool thing, like just string him into the entire both seasons somehow. But again, remember, there's absolutely no way they can write in the LAPD in every single episode, because that would just be forceful writing. But, I was like, they could have found some sort of way to like put him in there somehow. They didn't, so I'm like, you know what? It is what it is at the end of the day. But now, going through it, in terms of this episode, I thought it was really, really good. This felt like more of like they were already doing like modern love stories, I guess that's the terminology. Like that's the main theme this week. Like love is on everyone's mind at some shape or form. And it's just a reality of like when you're in that mind space, and I want to say 2021 for them, obviously 2022 for us, like it is different. It's not as easy as it is anymore. It's not as simple as it was back in the days of old. Well, it never was, but I'm not that old. I'm only 24. I'm about to be 25. I'm not that old. Oh, God, I feel old. You know what? Let's go for the Butcher recap and talk about this week's episode of The Rookie Feds. So we begin with Clark and Brandon doing the next stage of their probationary rookie agent training, which is setting up an entire room to be bugged, basically bugging and surveillance footaging an entire room by themselves without any advanced superiors. The FBI brings in a veteran, a legend within their ranks to kind of assist them during this process, to test them out, and then you just guide them through this operation setup that they're about to do, as well as this being a teaching moment for them. So they set up the room in their own, typical newbie way. It was all very cute. The proctor is busy. Just, you know what? I got time for a nap. I got time for a nap. They finish up the room. They are waiting the review from the instructor, but the instructor isn't waking up, which I found like, oh, it's gonna be a fun jump and scare tease, just to get the bloods flowing tonight, because again, this show's at 10 o'clock. A lot of people are dead tired, but this I'm about to knock out. But like, we'll do one more episode of TV, and I was like, okay, he's gonna do that. And nope, they checked the files. I'm like, okay, he's gonna pop in now. No, the man is dead. And I was like, shit. That was your cold open? Shit, I feel depressed. Oh my god. Well, I'm not trying to laugh off that. I'm not trying to do that. I'm just saying, like, it's like I wasn't expecting that. I thought we were just gonna get like a stupid joke, but like, oh, okay, this is actually pretty serious. So the rest of the team come in. They're kind of bummed. They're kind of like sad that this is a legend within their agency, and he's now gone. There's not really nothing they can do about it. Of course, obviously, they still got to set up finishing up bugging the whole room. And they also got to like, oh, we'll just call the coroner. And it's like, no. If, like, we bring the coroner here now, they will stay here for hours. The operation's a bust. So we need to basically throw him onto our personal truck. Again, not in the most civil manner, but again, it's like Garza said, like, this is what Bob would have wanted. This is what Bob would have. And remember that for the rest of the series, we will now refer to that line as, we're doing what Bob wanted, and that's going to work for the rest of the season. That's what I'm calling it for. So they head back to the HQ. They're all just mourning the deaths a little bit, you know. They get apparently he had some diabetes and heart and high blood pressure problems, so they presume he just had a stroke in the middle of his nap, so that's how he passed. Obviously, again, it's a little bit more downer for Garza because not only is it a friend of his, but also the fact that he and him also have very similar conditions right now. That it makes sense for Garza to feel a little bit emotionally like attached to this, and of course, Laura's the only one who really knows about this, so like she's like understand like he's going through a little bit of stuff right now, but even though he advises them, you know, get some rest. We got an op later this afternoon, so get some rest while you can before that all happens. So yeah, they spread back out. Clark heads back home. She runs into someone along her way home from work. They hit it off pretty well. It's me like I'm trying to be like I'm only 25. I'm not trying to say I'm old, but sometimes I'm a little old-fashioned. I'm a little bit of an old-fashioned man. And I was like, these two got fuck me eyes. They're just like, is there any way we could just skip the whole talk and just go straight to bed? Because it just feels like their energy, like the energy is palpable there. Like they just, that's what they want to do. They exchange phone numbers. Clark goes inside while to her dad doing a book club with some of the locals around. And, you know, they're just teasing a little bit. She's saying, oh, is that your daughter out there? And she's like, is she single? And she's like, yeah. It's like, you know, getting the juices flowing. And then good old Cutter over there is just like, no. Oh, you know what? This is a private matter. You know, my daughter isn't bi. She is bi, but she likes to keep it a secret. Like, she likes to keep it personal, even though Clark literally said in front of him, like, I ain't got no problem. I can express whatever I want. And Clark's like, listen. She takes her to like the kitchen or something. And he's like, look, you shouldn't date this girl because guess what? She's drama. That's it. Simple. Stay away from her. Like, thank you, goodbye, the end. You know, good night. And he runs back off to his book club while Clark is like now debating like, does he actually mean what he's saying he is, or like is it something else that's on their mind? Quickly enough, they head back to the is there a scene I'm forgetting? I know another episode, another focus point. I want to say this is the next scene, more like not even before. It's at some point earlier on, but Laura and Garza are just talking about Laura's some of her mandated therapy sessions come to an end, so Garza needs to sign up if she's ready to like fully report to active duty without any sort of check-ins. He's still debating like, are you really ready though? Like, are you really ready? And she's like, I am totally ready, despite the fact that my best friend and my husband both betrayed my trust by having sex with each other. Like, that is totally fine. And then she gets a text, whether on her brand new number, she completely, mildly flips the hell out. And he's like, don't know about that, Missy. I don't know about that. I really don't know. So it's time for the op. They all convene. Brandon, Laura, and Garza stay at a much more homey environment for this. And I'm still remembering there. Carter and Simone are staking out in the van itself. And, you know, again, like, Simone being the open person she is, she's already, like, talking about to Carter about, you know, about, like, about the girl she's interested in, and, like, what does it mean by what her dad said, and then she also has a FaceTime session with her. And again, like, simply put, like, they really wish they could meet up right now and just get it done, which I'm like, doesn't this other girl have a job or something? Because, like, again, I'm not in my 40s yet. Oh my God, I'm sounding so old. But I'm like, isn't you supposed to be working? But anyway, Carter immediately cuts that out, and you know, he changes the subject to the fact that, yeah, we know already that he and his wife are getting estranged. They're kind of, you know, preparing for divorce, and Carter's doing everything he can to like try and salvage it the best he can. So, you know, and, he's trying to like bring her down to like a nice dinner, trying to like reconnect a little bit, trying to re-spark some love into their life. Because guys know he's not getting anything in that motel room of his. So they're talking a little bit more. They realize that the parts. So the whole point of this entire operation is that they're staking out this crime family gang. I don't know what the terminology. I'm going to call them a crime family. So their whole deal is that today's the head's daughter's birthday party. So they're having a big party at their restaurant. So they decide to bug the place out, so that they know that, okay, if anything illegal goes on here, we can figure out that information right here, right now. They're just on standby waiting for like something incriminating to happen. All of a sudden, another rival gang shows up in motorcycles, and they're like, Jesus Christ, there's so many bikers here. And again, I actually never seen a biker when I was in Cali. Now that I think about it, I don't think I saw one. I'm pretty sure I did. I'm just forgetting about it. But regardless of that, so they go in and immediately everyone just assumed like, okay, this is gonna be a fight. You know, they've had a known hatred against each other. This is not gonna end well. Simone and Carter are ready to go in, bust in, you know, save the day and whatnot. However, it's a little too friendly between the bosses. They get a little too chummy with each other. So you know what, we're gonna talk some business in the back. And they're like, oh my God, this is the big thing. Like, you know, they're working together. They're saying, fuck our rivalry. We're gonna work together. We're gonna make more money. So they're like, okay, great. We're gonna just stand by in the kitchen, make sure that we get all the evidence we need, and then go in for the arrest. And Simone's like, wait a minute, we didn't exactly do the kitchen portion yet because that was supposed to be the next part of the treaty if Bob had actually approved our methods in the actual restaurant itself. And they're like, shit. And then again, like, I can't really excuse them. Like, a guy just died. So, like, you really can't just think about the operation. So, like, we need to get this body out of here and, like, you know, get this ready to go. So, they didn't have any sort of idea on it. So, what else they can do? Because obviously this is their, like, one only known chance they're going to get this sort of information. So Simone volunteers to go inside somehow, plant a bug in there, and then get the hell out. And Garza's like, no, this is like, you're in suicide. You got two gang families, two crime families in the same area. You're gonna die. There's no choice there. Carter immediately like vetoes is like, this is a bad idea. We should find another way, or just pull out right now. Like, well, everyone's fine. Simone's like, give me a chance. Garza's like, okay, go for it. Go in. But the moment you smell trouble, you pull yourself out. She agrees. She goes inside. She pulls the usual Simone charge on the maitre d' waiter. She manages to like pretend to go to the bathroom. She runs into the kitchen. Nearly has a confrontation with one of the crime dudes. Carter goes in posing as her husband to try and like, you know, minimize like, you know, hey, hold on there, Missy. Like, this is my wife. We were trying to like rent out the space for a party. It's clear we're not wanted. Like, they're just trying to make an excuse to be there naturally without like alerting the presence of any of the crime family members. So they get out, but Simone manages to plant the bug in before they leave, and then the following footage confirms that like, yes, they are working together on something. There's supposed to be a big drop tomorrow, and then, you know, considering the fact that, you know, they were waiting a while for this and everything, the main crime family with the daughter agrees to like, okay, we're gonna give you X amount of dollars more just for your, like, you know, for payment of your costs, which I'm like, okay, that seems fair. You know, it seems like they've worked out a lot of their kinks. I don't believe so. I don't believe a load of bullshit. They're just doing this for the money. That's all they're doing this for. So they pull out. Garza's excited because like he knows like, oh, this is a big lead. We're gonna now figure out where the drop is. We're gonna arrest both of them. This is a big win for us for the case for the FBI. So everyone's ready to go on that. So they already gotta move on to that. And Brandon asks the most important question: when the hell do we get some sleep? And Garza's like, no sleep until the opposite. Which I'm like, I'm starting to love Garza. Like, Garza, again, I'm not trying to be too on the nose, but like, yeah, I respect my fellow Latinos, but it's like, you know, I respect Garza more and more every episode. I start to like him a little bit more. So I believe they're just getting ready. They're doing some, so Brandon and Laura have to go get stuff so before they're able to like, you know, pack it up for now, they have to go back to the restaurant and unpack all the surveillance footage, all the surveillance equipment and like bugs and everything, so that, you know, they don't notice that there was someone there. So they cannot even go to bed because they gotta wait for that moment. Laura has a brief moment where she steps aside, where her friend, the one who cheated on her, was the mistress in the whole affair thing, shows back up, revealing that, yeah, I was like, you know, oh, she's gonna reveal like something really pissed off, something mad to get Laura pissed off, but no, she's just letting her know, we're engaged. Like, you know, it's our turn for happiness. Like, you had your time. Now it's my time. Like, we're going to get married now. Like, once your divorce goes through, we're going to get married. We're going to have a happy life. Which I'm just like, we're going to go a little bit of a rant here, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to go a little bit of a rant here, ladies and gentlemen. So I apologize if, like, you know, we'll get back to your episode of the Rookie Fest in just a moment. In what universe does this woman think, like, oh, I betrayed my best friend's trust by cheating on her, by helping her husband cheat on her with me, and I led to their divorce. I not only criticize her for being the one that instigated this entire thing, but I'm going to congratulate myself for her to saying like, oh, I'm getting engaged with your soon-to-be ex-husband. Like, it's my turn for happiness. like, haven't you heard the phrase? This is the one problem when it comes to the cheating the cheating lifestyle. Okay, if you do it, okay, you know what? In my mind, I said, look, if I don't know you personally, there ain't nothing I can do. Like, there is nothing I can do. Like, I don't know you. You do your life. You know, that's it. But keep in mind that the moment you cheat, you leave the door open. Like, no matter how much you can say, okay, the next relationship is going to be on, you still left the door open. The door is open. Like, if something goes wrong, you can easily find another person to go sleep with. That's going to happen. It is very unfortunate, but guess what? It does happen. It's sad to say. I think now the divorce rate for like half of all married couples end up in divorce, which is like, Jesus Christ, that's like that's a big ratio right there. So I'm like, jeez. But that's the matter of the fact. Like, you know, like when you cheat on someone, and regardless of the intention, the back, it does not matter. They still cheated. They committed the act, and they might get rewarded for it. So what do you expect them to like not to now expect them to be loyal to you? Like, they could cheat again. The door is open. Like, there will never be a moment in the rest of your lives together, if you are going to be together, that you'll never be worried that door is not closed. Think about it like that. But Laura will emphasize that towards the end of the episode. Mild spoilers for the end. Laura does what every hypocritical person does. They just say congratulations and goodbye. And yes, Laura like was in pain when she said that, because again, like, you know, when you're married to someone for many, many years and to find out they cheated on you with your own best friend, is like, it's the worst feeling in the world. Like, you can't even imagine it. So they get back to the ops itself. Yeah, because Simone already blabbed that, oh, Carter has a hot date tonight with his wife, so like, you know, he needs to go be with her. And Laura volunteers to take over for his position as being the chaperone between Brandon and Clark. So they all head back to the restaurant. Immediately they want to talk about Laura's love life. She's like, I don't want to get into it. I don't need to get into it. I don't need to tell you guys anything. Just get to work and let's get the hell out of here so we can go home. So they're wrapping it up. They notice that the birthday girl, the daughter of one of the crime lords, shows up, and they're like concerned because like, she's not supposed to be here at this time. Like, why is she here? They wait a little longer. The son of the other crime family boss also shows up, and it's like, this is a Romeo and Juliet story, isn't it? And like, yep, they're kissing. It looks like if this wasn't that type of show, they would have just ended up banging on the counter with open windows. Which, you know what, be as it may, you know, young people, they're in love, they're horny. That's all that is to it. She takes a bottle of champagne or tequila, I forgot what it was. And they walk out. So like, okay, it's over. Okay, they're hooking up. Okay, there's something. It's not really pertaining to our investigation, so we just move on from that. Not even a second later, they witness both of them getting into a van. They phone it in as the target, and they realize, shit, we're gonna have to get involved now because we noticed it, and like, you know, now our entire operation is kind of in flux because like, obviously we need to save them, but also at the same time we kind of had to admit that, why were we there? Why was our presence there? It's like, it's just going to open up a whole Pandora's box of problems for them. But of course, the lives of two people are in stake, so they got to push that aside and just risk it all just to save them. They call in both crime family leaders to discuss it, and they're both agreeing, like, oh, it's the other party that did it. Like, there's absolutely no way they would be dating. And I'm like, typical Romeo and Juliet logic. They're blaming the other about the whole kidnapping, and they're clearly just saying, like, my son or my daughter would never date that other person, that there's just not a shred in your body. And again, that would be the main reason why they would be dating. But you know what? It is what it is. Once they both leave, again, poor planning on their front, they decide to both leave their interrogations rooms at the same time. It's also ironic, they both ended the interrogations at the same time. That was a bit too coincidental for me. They're about to come to blows. The agents separate them slowly, and, you know, it's good to say that, you know, tempers are hot right now, and, you know, no one's listening to each other. Everyone's just going to put things in their own hands, which is also a bad thing, since you don't know if they're actually going to follow the rules and follow the demands or not. We don't know that yet. But of course they can't risk it. So they need to find the kidnappers before any of the crime family members do. So they get an authorization to plant secret bugs into all their phones and communication lines, so that if anything comes up, like, they'll know about it. So, you know, they'll be on the edge of that. I want to say, I don't even want to say we get to the original interrogation. Okay, so I know Brandon and Laura are driving out to one of the spots in order to like get a lead on something. Meanwhile, Clark and Simone are also doing the same thing, but also Clark is briefly mentioning that, like, yeah, not Carter is mentioning that, like, yeah, the oh, I forgot to talk about the dinner. So he was about to go into dinner. He's acting like we're normal. This is a date night for us. This is the beginning of, like, us repairing our marriage. But the thing is that, and this is the worst part if your relationship is falling apart, where you don't care. That is worse than being mad. Because when you don't care about someone you spend a lot of time with anymore, it means they lost everything. They don't have a single, like, it wasn't as brutal as that, but they both were basically admitting to each other, we are not the same people we fell in love with anymore. We're too far gone. There is no therapy. There is no, separation period to get back to each other. There's none of that. Like, you are now a different person than the man I married. You are a different woman from the woman I married. This is not going to work. So that's how, what? We need to talk about divorce. And again, it sucks. Like, it always sucks when, like, you have that, you think you found the one, you have children, then things just happen. It sucks. I've been through breakups before, and it never gets easier. It's always like the closer you get to a person, then you realize that, yeah, it sucks. Like, it's going to be better in the long run, but at the moment it hurts a lot. You struggle to accept it, and you're like, there's a lot of steps to it, but this is not the show for that. But and he tells bits and pieces to Clark, because again, they're still getting to know each other. It's still like it's supposed to be a professional relationship, but given how Clark is similar to Nolan, they're just both like open-bodied people. They're both open-minded, and they're both want to express what they're thinking of, even though the other person doesn't want to hear it. But it's the truth. It's just the reality of things. So I believe, so eventually one of the crime leaders gets a phone call / email from the kidnappers demanding a $2 million ransom, and also they also showcase proof that, like, yeah, one of them is alive, but it's conveniently not the other. And so they're holding hostage. So now it's serious that this is actually happening. Sad to say, actually what's ironic is that when Garza mentioned they can't track the phone, they use VNP system, which I'm like, ironically, my boss at work was talking about that same thing, and I was like, damn, that's just way too coincidental. But so they fit it. So they have no choice, but, like, they really don't know anything. Brandon, remembering his computer training from the set of another TV show he was on, remembers that there is basically a backwards image search for anyone that may have posted the background out, which I'm like, there's things for that too. I'm like, damn, I really should be back in computer class or something like that. Eventually he manages to determine the location. They break into the house. They take care of two of the kidnappers. They find the kid in the shed outside, so they save him, but the girl's not there at all. Meanwhile, back at the drop-off zone, the guy drops up the money. The two of the other kidnappers show up. A gunfight ensues. Carter and Simone have to intervene. Thankfully, Simone manages to, like, break up the fight before it gets even worse by ordering them to stand down. That works out pretty well for all sides, but of course they still need to find the daughter. They interrogate the son, and he's just head over and heels in love with her. And, like, it's a certain way, like, the way you describe someone you love. It isn't like the typical, like, oh, I love her because of her looks, or I love her because of her personality. It's a very specific thing that makes a person love someone, and he's got it bad. But however, there's just some things not lining up about this entire thing. There's just some things not lining up. Like, why wasn't where was the other one? Why wasn't there a phone call and a ransom thing for her at the same time as the other one? Like, where is that information? Like, it's not there. And so it's like it's a little bit fishy right now. I know also another thing is that they were doing research on them before. The son has very little to no social media presence. Was honestly a very good person all throughout high school and college. And, just ironically, the next thing that pops up for him is that he's dating the daughter of a crime lord, which is also being the son of a crime lord himself. As for her, she's like a party girl. She does everything under the red sun. She probably hooks up with a lot of dudes all the time. But that's just the gist they're getting off social media from her, because they don't really know her personally. I want to say, after that, once they start realizing, like, okay, things are starting to come to a head, like, now we just need to find her, and everything will hopefully fall into place. It turns out she's not actually really kidnapped, but she's actually the main person who organized the kidnapping, trying to use him, the son, to get basically $2 million for free, and she was going to split it with a bunch of like college students that were assisting her on the matter, because all of them are like literally not even trained kidnappers or criminals. They're just all college students, like thinking this was going to work, which I'm like, in what universe was any of this plan going to work? Like, what universe was any of this was going to work? But regardless, she gets worse. She's like, okay, I need to get out of this scot-free. Okay, the plan failed. We didn't get the money. I need to get out of this scot-free. So she decides to kill her friend and, you know, cut herself to ensue that there was a struggle that took place. And I'm like, okay, first of all, there's a bajillion things that can go wrong. There's literally, I don't even know how she fought this through. I really don't know. So she pages the police, tries to get everyone to come over here and like listen to her story, say like, oh, I'm the victim here. Like, you know, I was, you know, attacked. I was tortured, you know, I escaped. I fought for my life, you know, let's get this over with. Let's get back to my family. Let's get back to how life was before. But of course, Clark was like, you know what? Because when they go check on the dead body of the kid, it's one of the guys that she was sitting on someone's lap. So it seems like they were pretty close. So like, this is a pretty good test to see if she was actually in on it or not. So they go in, she's still claiming innocence, like, you know, I did what I had to do. I didn't know my kidnappers, like, you know, I saw their faces, but I don't recognize them whatsoever. And meanwhile, everyone just can see through the lies. I'm like, yeah, this girl's like, she's on something. She's completely gone. Clark calls her out on her bullshit. She just stops talking. It's like the moment you know someone starts talking because they know they're wrong. Like they know, like, okay, I fucked up badly. How do I get out of this? Is there really a way for me to get out of this? There isn't. Okay, great. I'm screwed. The dad comes in, basically accuses this is an all FBI investigation to get me and my organization taken down. This has all been a ploy. That's what he's believing. And then that's when the daughter stabs is like, no, I did this thing so I can make my own money, so I can start like not being dependent on you, because all you take care about is your organization. I don't even know why I'm trying to sound like a freaking spoiled rich guy. My microphone. Is my microphone still working? Is it still working? Shh, it's working. Okay. Sorry about that. She gets mad at him, and then eventually, there's no choice. And then once they realize, like, yeah, but you basically just confessed to the whole crime, so you're done. You done so. You going to jail, and like you better have a good lawyer. And even though the dad is aware that he made a mistake too, it's like, y'all still, like, this wouldn't have ever, like, this entire thing wouldn't have happened. Like, well, actually, it's kind of a monkey's paw thing where, like, if the FBI wasn't involved in this matter, there would have been like much bigger repercussions there. But if it did happen, like, yeah, you're everyone but that guy is safe. So I'm like, you know, you gotta take the victories when you can. But, you know, he's like, I swear this isn't, I'm gonna remember this. Which again, great ominous foreshadowing that, you know, there will be a point in the future where they come back. How will they come back? I don't know. Your guess is as good as mine on that. So that wraps it up. She gets arrested. They regroup back at HQ. Garza informs them that they're going to leave Bob's plaque right there. Just at the perfect spot. That's exactly where he should go, which I'm like, sounds morbid. So they're all dismissed for the day. They've had a very long day. You know, they just need some sleep. They need some sort of shut-eye or whatever the case might be. Garza and Laura have a little bit of a talk. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention as well, because again, this is why it's called the Butcher Recap. I forget stuff. I forgot there was a scene between Cutter about to go on a date with someone, and, you know, Simone just trying to like act on it. Simone talking to the girl that she's interested in during one of the original scenes. And then also there was a scene I completely omitted where Brandon basically tells Laura, like, what you're doing is not, it's healthy-ish, but it's not what you need. You want like some sort of big final showdown. That's what you need. And you're purposely not giving her that because you want to avoid conflict. So Garza and Laura just talk about their own each other's like stress and mental problems. And they both realize that there's something that's to give. Laura meets up with her friend. She was assuming, oh, this is it. Like, you're accepting of my new life, of going to be my new marriage, this is the beginning of my new chapter. Laura tells her the hell off, like, yes, I'm aware that I am always obsessed with my work. However, I'm a genius now when it comes to human patterns. I realize that all you are is a shitty human being. She just basically tells her off and said, good luck with him. Again, once a cheater, always a cheater. The door is always open. And again, like, that was like perfect. It was like perfect. Laura, you just earn my respect a lot. Brandon hears the whole thing. He's happy at her. And again, like, it's still like, they imply like, there's still like the trainer and trainee mentality. They're still growing their relationship. They're getting a little bit more closer. They're like being a little bit more open with each other. And that's great to see. It definitely means that they're growing their bond. They're becoming more open to each other. Simone gives Carter some piece of advice about like, yeah, look, here's the thing. Yeah, it's gonna, like, of course divorce is gonna suck, and of course obviously he's more worried about how is his son gonna react to his new, how is his entire lifestyle about to change, because to be honest with you, I've been through divorce. Not me personally, but like I've been a child of divorce. It's exactly what Simone said, like, it is better just be completely honest to your child, just tell them the truth, like, look, your mom and I are just not working out as partners anymore. We're still your parents, we still love you, but there will rarely be moments anymore where we're all together in the same room. Like, we will be there for the big moments, but in terms of any small moments, it sucks. It really, really does suck, because at the end of the day, like, you understand, like, especially me, like, when my parents got divorced, I was, like, a teenager, like, a preteen teenager back then. So I understood, like, yes, at the end of the day, it would be better beneficially for both of them to be separated, because they could both be happy again. So they both don't have to be stressing about failing the other partner, or, having issues with the other partner in terms of like having that commitment sort of way. I understand that to a T. What I personally felt bad with, and I'll get back to the story itself. I was just like bringing in my emotional pain here, is that I understand, like, like when it comes to like being the child of a divorce, like, your parents are never going to be at the same room again. Like, you will be at an event with your mother, and you want your dad to be there just so that they don't feel alone. Same with it's vice versa. Like, it sucks. You eventually learn to get over it, but at first it sucks. But at the end of the day, it's better to be honest and truthful than leading on saying like, oh, we're fine, we're just going to take a break from each other. Like, that is always the worst feeling in the world. I hope I don't have to go through that with my own kids. I really don't, but that's just the reality of it. But, it's good advice for Simone to have for him. And like, and she's speaking from experience too, but it's good. Like, again, they're both bonding over something, and that's a good sign to see. So I believe from that point onwards, I think, we go to the wrap up. Simone heads back home. She's ready to unwind. Cutter admits that the whole reason why he told her about, like, oh, that girl you're interested with, she's old drama. The only reason he told her that was because, like, I'm actually dating her mother. So it would be kind of weird if, I was with the mother and you were with the daughter, which again, like, for some people, for some pairs, it's like a dream, but like, and it's like, like, well, if one party gets married and the other is like interested in each other, like, what do you do? Like, you really can't. And again, I'm about the borderline stepbrother, stepsister type things. Like, okay, we're not gonna go that far. We're not gonna go that far. And it's like proud of Simone. Like, for once, you listened to me. You respected my decision. You didn't do anything Simone about it. You just stayed in your zone. And she's like, of course, Daddy, of course. Your feelings are what's important to me. She closes the door. The girl's in bed, and I'm like, oh my God, Simone. Oh my God. You just got your own flair. You do what you do, and it somehow works out for you. And I love it. I love every moment of it. And that was an end to this week's episode of The Rookie Feds. Oh man, that was a fun one. That was a really fun, great episode. I can't stress that enough. This is what I think every episode should be. Just like, obviously we're in the first season, so like we're still getting like, what is everyone's relationship defined as, what is the connection, what is the banter. We're still figuring that all out, but this was like a great standalone episode. This was great. It definitely kind of set the bar for like more standalone episodes. And this was necessary. Like, this felt like a team building mode. Like, everyone was like developing its connection to it, because they're still figuring out things. Like, there's still this new unit. There's still like, they've been on a few cases now together, but like there's still some room for like, we need to learn more about each other, or we need to like improve, or we need to like, it's great that we're still in that stage, and like seeing them like slowly grow, developing that bond even further in every episode. That's great to see. Otherwise, yeah, nothing really, like, in terms of like story-wise, like big character moments wise, like this was just the modern Romeo and Juliet story in modern day Los Angeles. I thought it worked out pretty well. It's pretty interesting twists there, but otherwise, it was just great to see Simone bonding with Carter more, Brandon with Laura, Garza with his entire unit. Like, they're growing. This was mostly a growing episode, and that was very good. So for me, like, just point blank, it's really, really great. I'm going to give this episode 2 thumbs up. I really enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments below, what did you think of this week's episode of The Rookie Feds? Let's have that conversation down below. I would love to talk to you about it. But I believe that's going to do it for me today, everyone. So for other words, this has been What's the Two from ActionX, reviewing every episode in The Rookie Feds. If you want to know what we're doing normally, What's the Two, besides our Rookie Feds episode reviews, we are currently doing Star Wars episode reviews each and every week after brand new episodes on Wednesday nights on the CW. We're also doing Walker episode reviews each and every week after brand new episodes on Thursday nights on the CW. And we're also doing Walker Independence episode reviews each and every week after brand new episodes on Thursday nights on the CW as well. And we're also doing the Rookie episode reviews each and every week after brand new episodes on Sunday nights on ABC. But if you're in luck, if you're only caring about the Rookie Fed, well, guess what? Next week, it's crossover time, baby. And I don't care, because we're going to see the Rookie Fed doing their first ever crossover event. So it is going to be part 1 of the event is going to be on the Rookie review, and then part 2 is going to be on the Rookie Feds review next week. So it's kind of synergy. So you haven't watched our Rookie reviews yet, or if you haven't watched or if you're, I should have said this yesterday, not 2 days ago, like, you haven't seen our Rookie Feds review, now's the time to jump in. That's the point. Because they're all going to cross together. It's all going to be one coherent story. Focusing on it's mainly going to be a Rookie story, but with the Rookie Feds characters involved, which is totally fine, you know. Obviously, the Rookie Feds are still the newcomers. They still haven't developed much of their own major story villains yet, which is perfectly fine. The Rookie being on the air for, like, now 5 seasons. They have a lot to pull from, which, again, is totally fine. It's totally fine. Hopefully, down the road, when we get the next crossover event, it'll be more balanced out or whatever. So again, next week's episode reviews will be a 2-parter Rookie review on... So it's going to be different. Like, this is the first time I'm doing a crossover review live. I've never done this before, so bear with me as I figure out all the kinks and whistles of that. So we will talk about that next week. But again, this has been What's the Two from ActionX. Please subscribe to us on youtube.com/ActionX videos. Ring that bell for notification when our next episode reviews live. Please also like or share if you want to. Please also ring the bell. Please also follow us on social media. But until we see each other again, for all you feds out there, I'll see you all next week. But until then, stay safe out there, be good to each other, and as always, peace out.